I'm back. It's 3:06 p.m. on a Saturday. Why have a good day? Let's read a review. The Bookworm Yogi has requested that I read Love at First Like. I guess that makes sense because usually like happens before love. What?
There's a social media like.
It's by Hannah Orenstein. Orenstein? It's by Hannah O. We don't have the book again because maybe we never owned them in the first place. Whatever the case, instead of using the actual book, we searched through my own library of school supplies and found a book that's pretty similar. Love at First Sight or Managerial Accounting. 10th Canadian edition. There's 9 others of these. I imagine they all got heavier. The Love at First Like by Hannah Orenstein. Published by McGraw-Hill Ryerson. Jesus, it has an index. Not often that you find a novel with an index. And some exercises on accounting. Well, this is interesting. So Hannah Orenstein, in this book, talks about evaluating investment center performance and return on investment. Sounds like a real page turner. Not many reviews, like no reviews on the back of this. But there seems to be 14 chapters. She has a lot to say, it seems, about accounting in this book. It's a heavy book. I don't recommend reading it on the go. Love at First Like. Thank God it's just a paragraph. Okay, she finished it. You finished this? It's a heavy read. This thing's got to be like 3 pounds. 4 out of 5 stars. No freaking. 4 out of 5 is pretty shit. Like, you lose 1 whole star. 4 out of 5 stars. What if, like, you ever, like, think how ridiculous 4 out of 5 stars really means? Like, think about it. That's 80%. That's 20% missing. You ever met someone who's missing 20% of themselves? Like, you ever met someone who has, like, part of their stomach gone? And, like, a nose and maybe a butt cheek? No one would want to talk to you. People would be awkward around you. I'm going to hell. My thoughts, colon. Well, think of anything else that misses a fifth of itself, right? Like, you can't use, like, you have a toaster and it has, like, 3 of its legs and no plunger thing to put the toast down. And one of the heat elements is gone, like a whole fifth of the toaster is gone. You can't have toast with that. What would be a good metaphor? What if your toilet was a 4 out of 5 star toilet? I've taken this too far. Okay, my thoughts, colon. If you're looking for your next beach/summer read, then this is the book you need. Does that mean that the beach is the same as the summer? Or is it like, because the beach is not necessarily the same as the summer. The beach is a place. Summer is a season. You can have a beach in the winter. And not all beaches are the same. They're not all sunny and fun. You ever been to any of the beaches in Britain? Like off like the North Sea? Not fun. What if you live in cottage country by a lake? That's technically a beach. I probably wouldn't call it a beach. There wouldn't be enough sand. Is there like a sand formula? Like you need so much sand to have a beach? Maybe it's just a shore. A fun romantic comedy with a strong female lead and a wonderful cast of women. It's just a book about women. You ever like watched a romantic comedy that wasn't fun? Then it would be like a drama, right? Like this one was a fun one as opposed to the unfun romantic comedies. Like, what would be an unfun romantic comedy? Like Titanic. That was an unfun, like there was a disaster in the whole thing. Like it had all the other elements, but not many laughs. Not as many as you would think if you were having a movie with Billy Zane. A strong female lead. Now, are you talking about, like, does she lift weights, the female lead, or like she's a power lifter?
No, like headstrong.
Headstrong. So she works at her skull. She's like got like a weight strapped to her head and like. You ever see those people at the gym? People who do exercises that don't exist, and you know they go home and they're in pain, and they're drinking some carrot juice, and they're thinking,
I hate my life. Why does things hurt so much?
And then they'll see their friends, by the water cooler or outside the dumpster, and they're like,
Yeah, I went to the gym. Look at this vein on my neck.
or something like that. Anyway, she's headstrong. Okay, so you got a bodybuilder who's a female, and a wonderful cast of women. Like they're full of wonder. They're very curious. Like they're just amazed by what's going on. This is the novel version of an epic chick flick. Chick flicks and epics don't really go together, right? Like, you don't watch a movie like Ben-Hur. Or, I guess, like, Cleopatra could be an epic chick flick, right? Like, you got, like, the thousands of extras and the huge production value and the wide, like, aerial shots of the landscape, this ancient times, and it's a period piece, and you got Cleopatra, and she's, like, looking real royal, and she's a chick. And she's not taking no guff from, what was it, like Julius Caesar? Yeah, to hell with Richard Burton. Now that was an epic chick flick. But normally you don't get chick flicks that are also epics. Like you either get Lord of the Rings or you get Mean Girls or Bridesmaids. Which are, to be honest, way more fun. Because Lord of the Rings is pretty boring. Unless you're into Hobbits. Frodo Baggins is not a strong female lead. He's not even a strong male lead for a Hobbit, right? Like, Sam is a stronger character. Like, physically. Golem even was stronger at some points. And that guy lives in a cave for 100 years or something. It has heart. What do you mean? Does it have blood, too, if it has heart? You ever looked at someone and be like, you have heart? And it's like,
Of course I do. I'm here talking to you.
oh, sorry. It has heart, laughs, and some swoon-worthy moments. Swoon-worthy. Like, they're worthy of you swooning. I asked the Bookworm Yogi later on what swoon means. And she explained it in basically a gesture to me. And this is, to me, what she means by swoon-worthy. Imagine me, the Bookworm Yogi, long dark hair, and it's twilight, and I'm reading by candlelight, and I'm reading something that's swoon-worthy, and this is me. This is how you know it's swoon-worthy, when I do this. That's swoon-worthy. That is an emotion that I've never demonstrated. It has laughs. Is this an audiobook? Are the characters straight up laughing? Or you mean it has humor? You have laughs. The book does not have laughs. The book has funny moments in it in written form. And when you read it, it creates a thing in your brain where you're like,
That's ironic.
and you express that with laughter. Though most of the time, whenever I see the Bookworm Yogi read, it's not with laughter. She literally was like this. I gotta get to the page. Which is kind of very swoon-worthy, wouldn't you say? And it's pretty similar. Maybe we're all just a little swoon-worthy when really we find something humorous. I'm taking this too far again. Okay, swoon-worthy, and make sure you, whenever you use that word, put a hyphen between swoon and worthy. It's not all one word, unless it's like your email address, swoonworthychick@readingbooks.com. I don't know. Swoonworthychick at readerreviews.com. Swoonworthy chick at imlonely.com. I got so invested in Eliza. Eliza? Eliza. Eliza. Doesn't that name just lend itself to a completely different accent? Like, no one with my accent would be like, oh, I'm going to name you Eliza. Eliza.
Eliza.
Like, it just doesn't sound good. Eliza. That's my daughter, Eliza. Eliza! I got so invested in Eliza's character and was eager to see how she'd be able to pull off this grand scheme. Did she explain anything about the scheme? No scheme has been explained. All we know is that Eliza is trying to do a scheme, trying to pull it off. Pull off the scheme and reveal the scheme. And it's grand. So it's like there's a lot to pull off. What kind of scheme is it? Is that a spoiler? It's not like any of you have come here for spoilers. I can give a spoiler alert if you like. There's a grand scheme. In typical rom-com fashion, remember rom-com with a hyphen, not one word, things don't go exactly as planned, and she has to tackle her fair share of obstacles. So, knowing that she's a strong female lead, she's doing tackling. Is she like a football player, or? Multitasker. So she's also like a running back. And maybe a QB. She's tackling obstacles. The only obstacles I've ever seen tackled were like on the football field as I sat back and played Super Nintendo and laughed at them. They were getting all sweaty and smelly, and I wasn't. Sports. I adored this book. Okay. She never picked it up again. She wrote the review, and we don't even have a copy of the book. That's how much she adores it. Did you actually adore this book? Is that truthful?
I did.
No, she didn't. You know why we know she didn't? Because she gave it 4 out of 5 stars. 80%. Do you adore me?
I do.
At no point did she ever, like, grab this book and was sitting there. She's just like...
Oh, God. I adore this book. This book is so full of adoration.
No, she didn't. You don't watch 80% of a movie and you're like,
I'm done. I'm done.
well, you're not liking it?
No, I adore it. But I just don't care to see what happens at the end of Titanic. I know they'll probably be saved, or the boat will make it to England.
I really think you should watch the rest of the movie.
I'm not concerned.
What I'm trying to say is she did not adore the book. It's the perfect quick read that you'll devour. Doesn't Yule sound like a funny contraction? Yule. You know? Anyways, in one sitting, under the sun, or in your favorite reading spot. I don't think I've ever seen you read in the sun. You're always reading indoors by the glowing electricity installed in our ceilings.
There's pictures that prove that I read outside.
No, she doesn't read outside. Don't believe the pictures. They're photoshopped. What if your favorite reading spot is like obtrusive to everyone else? Like it's inconvenient. Like what if it's in the middle of a road?
Sir, this is the interstate.
Well, this is my favorite reading spot. It's out in the sun.
You're not following stay-at-home orders.
I can't wait to check out the author's previous book and look forward to what else she has in store for us. What store? Where? What could she have in that store? Is it a warehouse? A warehouse of athletic women. Protagonists tackling things in order to have a great scheme, which sounds like a football move, right? It kind of does, right? You can just picture like, hello. All right, boys. Shall we do a Hail Mary? No. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a great scheme. Go! I don't know sports. Do they huddle in football? Even the word huddle sounds funny, doesn't it? Anyways, best of luck to you if this is the kind of book you want to read. I'm just not into reading sports books. This has been This has been a... Oh, wrong mug. This has been another My Boyfriend Reads, my textbook from my MBA that I pretended to be a sports book about a female football player who tackles things to get great schemes underway. Good afternoon.